Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to It's a Long Story, a place where we roll dice, we tell stories, and we create magic. I'm still getting an echo from somebody, so everybody mute for a second. Just till we get that over. Yep, cool, awesome. Welcome. We are here with our beloved crew. We need to put Dan in the thingy, and I forgot. I'm sorry, Dan. Where you at? Where you at? There we go. Cool. We got everybody. Welcome. We are here with the Unearthed Arcanum. Everybody take a look at your camera, wave, and say hi.
Hi.
Good dog.
Hello. For those that don't know what is this? Hi, we're a D&D live stream that runs every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, having 5 parties living, existing, breathing in the same homebrew world, the wonderful, beautiful world of Astera. Unless they're sucked into a timeless, timey-wimey sort of place, like the Feywild. But they're also there. It's still in the same thing, same time. So if this is your first time watching the channel, welcome. Very simplistic on the announcements. Today we're just going to kind of just breeze right on through in just explaining for those that are watching, whether it's your first time, second time, or third time, but you're wanting to support the channel, the best way to do so is to like and subscribe where you're watching. So you find the YouTube button or you find the button on Twitch and you hit that, and we love you for it instantly. It's an instant love. You just hit the button and then boom, you get love. Just kidding. We'll love you anyways. But you can also check out our okay, never mind, except for these two who immediately shook their head. That was staged. That's what that was. That was beautiful. But you'll still get it from me, regardless. But their love is very conditional. But you can also check out our Instagram and TikTok down below at itsalongstory_TTRPG. We have some really cool sort of clips of some of our favorite moments, both comedic and dramatic. Some of our recent and early combats. Super cool. So give it a look, and then a like if you want. But only if you are just heavily wanting the love and respect of these two people right here. Or in case you want to follow. Take a gander.
We might even pull you back. Very transactional. Very
maybe.
good.
Wow. Do you want love? There it is. This is a very weird intro. Sorry. What I'm trying to say is, welcome.
Tonight's gonna be so unhinged.
So unhinged.
Parasocial relationships in my D&D?
Yes.
Sometimes we get the unhinged out before we get to the game.
We're here to talk about Timothy Chalamet. We're here to talk about Jeffrey Wright. Our Lord and Savior.
I'm sorry.
Tim, if you're watching, do you want to come guest star?
Lisa Nagaib?
You can take Alistair for a session. It's fine.
You could do.
Sure can.
I don't feel like
or more,
I could
apparently.
DM.
Jesus, guys.
I can't DM for Timothy. I just get lost in the eyes, I think, even through the screen.
Yes.
But you know what, Tim, I'm willing to give it a shot. So if you're watching,
T-Dog.
T was friends. His
He would have to play a gnome, though, right? Seriously?
He would what?
He'd have to be a gnome, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he's
obviously.
only like 3 feet tall in real life, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Cool, man.
Sorry.
Clinton, thanks,
Wow.
dude. Now he's not
there goes
coming.
that sponsorship.
Shots fired.
Oh, man.
You were doing so good.
Yep, he just commented. He said, as soon as you fire the... Well, no one works for me, Tim. Sorry. Anyways, this is a D&D live play. We are very excited to get things going with the UA. Before we jump into tonight, we do need to get a recap of where we left off. So, Kiki, would you please tell us where we at?
I can sure try. So last week, Gwen found herself in the Shadowfell all on her lonesome, facing down the Raven Queen, who was very upset that she interrupted Yori's death. After being surprisingly respectful towards an authority figure, Gwyn made a deal with the Raven Queen. Basically, she chose one of two figures who she wasn't able to identify prior, that she would deliver to the Raven Queen within a year. She ended up selecting a certain blue-haired elf somewhere in... I don't know where they are. I haven't watched Manga Screw in a while. But they just kidnapped somebody from, I think, the Ludus. That's where they're at. So now we're hunting Saren. Thank you, Gwen. The Raven Queen accepts this deal and sends Gwen back. While all of this is going on, though, Kara and Alistair are having a little tiff as usual. Who could have guessed? Kara eventually goes over and helps Yori, tries to heal him a little, and he kind of falls asleep in her arms in a very sweet scene while Alistair casts Tiny Hut, that's the spell. Tiny Hut around himself, Gwyn, and Prim while he's waiting for Gwyn to wake up, heal. He does try to, or Unalith tries to tempt him with her power in this moment of concern, but he once again denies her offer. Gwyn wakes up, immediately asking Alistair where everyone else is and if they're okay. Well, he's just worried about if she's okay. She looks around and sees everyone through the tiny hut. Eventually Alistair drops it. Gwyn gets a big bear hug tackle from, I think, Io. And they have a nice, sweet reunion that we are all somehow surprisingly alive, minus a arm on our dear fairy friend. Gwyn does go over to check on Kara, apologizing for putting the damage on her, which Kara just tells her not to apologize. Zara eventually rejoins the group, also apologizing to Gwyn for stabbing her multiple times. Which Gwyn tells her not to apologize, because the hag made us do it, hopefully. Realizing that her child was not among those saved, Zara kind of separates herself from the group a little, as Gwyn casts a sending to good old Marcus, to kind of find where those kids are, and he is very vague and unhelpful. As the party gathers to leave, Kara goes to kind of scout ahead, just standing in the edge of the clearing with Zara, while the group, when we planned on leave, instead turns towards that lovely cauldron. Alistair goes over there first and begins to study the cauldron. He does attempt to fill some vials with liquid that's still inside, but the vials explode on him. And with some study, he realizes there's glyphs etched into the side of the cauldron that emanate abjuration magic. He tries to etch the glyph into another flask and doesn't quite work, so he calls Gwyn over. And she comes over to help while Io sends a message to Eris, which he does not receive response to. While Gwyn is trying to copy the symbols on the cauldron, Prim and Yori come over, and first Alistair tried to kick it with his bad leg and fell on his ass. Then Prim and Yori come over, and Yori does giant smite and kicks the cauldron over. Just as the ooze and goo and stuff is all kind of fading away, Io gets a feeling and recognizes something within the cauldron, a door closing shut now that the spell, whatever was holding it all in, is broken with it being knocked over. In the distance, Zara and Kara kind of look towards the archway, and Kara pulls out the 2 letters she has from Emir and tries to sense his energy, knowing that we are in the Gloaming Warden's woods. And she does get a hit over near Alistair. She very casually and angrily stalks by the group, following that trace of emotion from Ymir, and it leads her to Ugol hopping away from the group. And she follows him into the woods where she confronts him directly. She basically tells him that the deal was that he leaves Alistair alone and he better fuck off. Then she also tries to test his loyalties against the queen and makes some threats against this queen to see if maybe he could be swayed. Eventually, they all gather together again and move towards the archway, Yori dragging the massive cauldron in tow with us. As we approach, 20 plus kids run towards Gwyn, and then she kind of sidesteps so that they run towards Prim, who also sidesteps, and Kara has to step in and take care of the kids. Marcus comes through looking for some kind of guidance or god or something. We're not quite sure. And we point everyone towards Iabellon. After some walking, we end up in Iabellon, a lot of very lovely reunions with some of the children, but we notice other children are claiming that this wasn't their home, this isn't where their home is, and there's children also not even from Iabellon, so we believe these kids were taken from different time and space, and reuniting them all will be a problem for Iabellon, because we have other problems of our own. We all head up back to our room, where Gwyn resummons Husynth, while Alistair studies the cauldron for a couple hours. Zara and Kara head out of the room, where Zara has a breakdown, which Kara comforts her. You did that perfect.
I truly didn't realize it until it was brought to my attention.
After a while, they discuss bonds of friendship that ties them. No matter what in the future, they promise to try to help each other, even when Kara espouses her plans to supplant the Queen of Air and Darkness, if that's the only way to get her daughter back. Zara's like, hey, that'd be a pretty good ally to have across the wall. Kara tells her she's afraid she might lose herself, which Zara promises. They have magic that can help fix that. As Zara departs, Kara sends Hadrian and receives no response from him. Zara heads in front of Kara back to the room, where she apologizes to Alistair for her behavior and for the party in danger. He asks what she would do if she could wipe away all the pain in the world, and she said not at all. She would not do that, echoing similar sentiments he has had. And then she promises to support him in all of his artificing endeavors, as he gives her a little list of what he needs and who he needs and when he needs it. Kara eavesdrops for a while from the corner, listening as we hear her mention her son's name, which is Elisar, the same name on Nalani's chest, and the supposed name that was listed in a book about Neldwyn. And that's where we ended. I think we ended technically in a long rest, but that's where we ended.
Beautiful.
Did I miss something?
Awesome. Well, first off, Kiki, thank you. Appreciate it. That was great. Anything we need to add, friends? Things that
Prim got shit-faced.
Prim got shit-faced on Iabellon substance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty elf person.
Pretty elf
Just hallucinating, if I remember correctly.
I also took
She
a
was
shot,
hallucinating
but
a god.
I also took a shot, but did not hallucinate.
That's right.
Mhm.
Cool. Cool. Sorry, I'm just catching up on something here. Cool. All right. All right, sweet. You all also leveled up as well. So as we are going to be jumping into our morning in the on the sort of I don't want to say the coat closet, of the Iabellon court. But it's just a small, we'll call it a guest room. As you are all waking up from that very long day. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into first off, we're going to jump into D&D. But as we start, we are going to do something that I'm going to try to make sure that I'm doing a little bit more often. That as you guys are waking up, we're going to actually have you tell all of us here what you did level up in. So we're going to go around as you guys are waking up for the morning, describing your various sort of states of mind or where you are physically, what have you, what we see from your character, as well as just telling us what you've decided to level up in. So, ready? Here we go. I'm going to switch over the music, though, because I don't like that one. We're going to do this one. I think as we go around, we'll say, does anybody think they wake up first? Yeah, Alistair, go for it. What do we see?
Yeah, so Alistair, I think the previous night was studying the cauldrons and the runes on it and fell asleep next to the cauldron. I think he fell asleep while working. Obviously, it's not comfortable, so I think he slept restlessly there on the concrete, maybe back up against the wall, and woke up and immediately picked right back up from where he was at, studying the cauldron. I took another level in Artificer, so I am 10th level Artificer now. Yeah, and I think he's really just going back to that, really running his hands over the cauldron. And I think he wants to get out today and take the cauldron with him to see if he can't remove like the piece of metal there. So I think he's thinking about that. And occasionally glancing over at Yori, just because, Yori has mentioned the Rune King, and, runes are a type of magic that Alistair knows nothing about. I don't think he's made the connection yet, but I think his mind is split on what he's doing with that.
Okay, beautiful. Alistair, as you are touching the waking up and kind of touching the cauldron and thinking about the day, we're going to pan over to Prim, who had a very interesting evening mentally.
Yeah.
Prim, what does your morning look like?
I think when she wakes up initially, she is just groggy and probably really hungover from the night before, and she's just like, oh, that was such a bad idea. Drinking Fey alcohol in a Fey city, not my best move. And she'll note that Alistair is probably awake at this point, and she'll kind of scooch over towards him and just, do you have any way to make coffee or something else? Or I don't know. I just good morning.
Good morning. You look awful.
I feel awful. Thank you.
Also, Prim, what did you take level wise?
Oh, I took a level in Monk, so now I can get rid of fears and charms as an action.
Nice.
You learned how to do that just last night?
And there was a little bit. It was one of those. I feel like there was this weird level of Zen that happened somewhere halfway through, and I think I could just re-tap into that moment of feeling really good, and that can be a way to help snap out of those moments.
Yeah, that's just magic.
Yeah, but I can break magic now.
No. no one can break that. No.
Anyways,
Are you gonna brush your hair or something? Like you?
it's like sideways. Oh, ow, that is caught. That is caught funny.
Um, When you figure that out, it would be great if maybe you and Yori could help carry this for me somewhere.
Yeah.
Please?
Probably gonna. Yes, no, 100%. I don't want to leave the room. I feel like that's a worse idea. There's a fountain in this room, right?
Yes.
Cool. She'll go over. Has that water cleaned up a bit?
Oh, it's pristine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It seems like it probably goes somewhere. You just don't see where it goes. So
Perfect.
it's kind of like ever flowing sort of thing.
She'll kind of sneak over that way and splash some water in her face and try to deal with her braids that have probably knotted aggressively in the back of her hair somehow.
Beautiful. As you are kind of trying to clear out the tangled mess of hair, I think some water kind of like flicks over onto Yori, who kind of like maybe like startly sort of starts to wake up. Yori, what is your morning like?
I guess you want me to start with what I picked because it is a little weird.
Your call.
Yeah, so I took a level in cleric. I took forge cleric. So one level of, I think there's an essence of I think it's less that he's worshiping some god and more that some god is paying attention to him in the essence of him, being the fire giant, the runes, the forging, like that kind of stuff. So yeah. Plus now I can heal people. I could already heal people. I have a level in bard, 8 levels in fighter, and 1 level in cleric. So that's what he took. And so yeah, he wakes up like startled and panicked. Looks around. Oh. Well, at least when I'm in the dreams, I have 2 arms, so I guess it's nice to remind me that I'm still here.
That's fair. I mean,
sorry,
reminder.
I've been trying not to sleep because it's the Fey Wild and dreams, and I just was worried if I fell asleep that I'd wake up somewhere else. But I woke up here, and I guess it's like the opposite of when you try to do something in a dream to wake up in it. And anyway, wait, why am I wet? Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's not. It hurts a lot. It is pulling in all the wrong ways.
Is there? I never really do. My hair just kind of does its own thing. I think like some of it's pretty matted, but it's I've never really brushed my hair. I don't know if I can help.
I could probably work. It's okay. I'll figure it out. I'll finagle it a little bit more and try to get these unknotted. Alistair wanted to talk.
Oh, I wanted to talk to you too. Wait, I wanted to talk to you too. Arm stuff.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. This is yeah. You were trying to do rune stuff, and I know a little bit about runes. I also needed to ask you something kind of more in like private when we get a chance. You could.
Yeah. Well. Okay, I'm sure you know stuff about runes, but I was like maybe thinking you were gonna go, if you were gonna do the thing you mentioned, the Rune King, that maybe we could talk to him about the runes.
Sure, but the thing is, like, so someone like that might, just know like, a lot of the giants, when they did runes, it was like a ritual, like they did it. It was like by feel, and I learned a lot of that, like kind of by feel. But Snorri taught me a lot more about, like, some of the words that are used outside of the giants, and about like what's like the depths of the lines, and there's a sort of like ratios. And the thing is, like, a lot of people think that, if it was just the shapes, then anybody could draw that, and it would just be like there'd be everybody have magic everywhere. You can just draw whatever you want. But the trick to it is that it's both. There's a feel to the, you kind of, that's why it's in metal. It's not like if you're on paper, it doesn't tend to work. And there are hidden things. The basic lines are just sort of like the places where the I don't know, it's like the harmonies of the different ratios form to let you then do
Okay, what? Yori.
primaries and
Hey,
yeah,
Yori.
yeah.
Okay, so do me a favor. Can you just look at the cauldron and tell me what you see?
Okay.
Because I'm sure you saw a lot, and I'm sure you heard a lot, but and listen, I think you're great, but you're also 14, so if we could.
Well, I mean, I could be a lot older. I don't, it's like I've lived other
Well, I'm just saying maybe we could just talk to an adult that maybe has spent more time.
I don't know if the Rune King counts as an adult, but if you want to talk to him and see what he says, that's fine. I don't know if I can still do. You need a hammer. Like, I have my hammer and chisel, and then I have my etching rod, and there's like an anodized brush and some powdered metals that I use for runes, but I haven't done it with one arm before. I'll go feel the rune and see if I can figure out a little bit more about it if you want, and I'll take a look.
I can help with the one hand situation. I can teach you how to do that.
Can you use a hammer and chisel with one hand? I guess I just chisel it like real hard without the hammer.
No,
you do that precise.
You use your legs to steady, and then.
Oh, I need to work on getting flexible. I'll check. Rune.
Anyways.
Yeah.
While Yori does that, can I just pay attention to see if Yori knows what he's talking about when it comes to runes?
Okay. Yeah.
Like how intelligent is Yori when it comes to runes? Alistair doesn't know runic magic. If Yori does, then
right. Cool. Yeah. Give me. I mean, you're trying to sort of survey how much a figure would seems confident in their understanding of it, or are you trying to see whether or not they're correct in their assumptions on things?
not correct. I think, like, I asked him if he would look at the runes on the cauldron, and he, I assume, is pulling out some tools of his, or about to. While he's doing that, like, even as a player, I don't know how much Yori knows about runes.
Sorry. So I probably would have interrupted if I realized this was they're glyphs, which in this case is very different.
Got it.
Yeah. This would be more on your sort of side of magic, but I would say that they're not something that, like, you don't feel like this is something that, like, your scholastic learning would help you with. These are runes that don't necessarily seem to relate to the material world side of magic.
Got it.
So So, the runes or glyphs? Is that because you're kind of
They're
making a
glyphs.
difference here? The glyphs. Okay. Well then.
Yep.
Cool. I don't know that. So I guess still, Yori, if he was looking at it, would pay attention to see what he knows about, if he can figure anything out of it, since he is from the Feywild. Maybe it's some lost memory or something.
Yeah. Yori, give me an Arcana check.
12.
Yeah, with a 12, I think the difference here for Yori is recognizing. I don't know if Yori would really kind of like notice the idea of like a difference between the like glyphs or runes. So in this case, the simple answer is no. But I think for Yori, there's a sort of like sense of like these might be just runes that don't really seem to really coincide with anything that you've seen before. What I'm saying is you know so little about this is that you think that they're still in that same sort of vein of runic magic. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. In preparation, I thought we were going to talk about runes. So I thought up a whole thing about the, I have a whole system for what he knows about runes, and I was just thinking, like, if he knows that much about it, if he knows about runes, he does it all the time. It's this whole class. I feel like he can at least recognize that this is not a rune based on like how it's done. Like, it just doesn't use the same principles of like how it's carved in there, or like what kind of like he was talking about just a second ago. Like, I was thinking like part of the runic magic is ratios and things of the lines and how they're shaped. And if this is not that, then it's sort of like, well, it just doesn't make sense in the same principles or something like that.
For clarification, above board, we're talking about the cauldron, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just
Okay.
saying. I don't know.
I appreciate you looking, but it would still be nice if you could help me take this today. I don't want to carry a cauldron around, but if we could find a blacksmith or someone that could cut the symbol out.
Yeah, I mean, I could carry stuff real good. So, I mean, not as good as still pretty good though. So, yeah, I'll carry the cauldron on it, and then maybe I have to ask you something later, but yeah, just let me know when you want to go, and I'll pick it up and we'll go.
I guess we'll wait for everyone else to wake up, but yeah, it'd be fun. Just you and me.
Okay.
Help me out.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, I guess it hasn't been that many days, but it seems like a while since. I mean, Huxley was there last time, but like when we worked on the spear, and it was pretty fun. So yeah, just let me know when you want to go, and I'll go.
Absolutely. But Prem, you're welcome to come with us if you'd like.
I've got a date with a furbog, so I'm gonna be dealing with that.
Date with a furbog, Gwyn, is when you wake up.
I actually think she's probably been up for a while, but
Okay.
not like just letting the background noise sort of help her focus as she pulls out her spell book and gets out her chest and all of her other journals and papers and is just rifling through them, organizing and pulling out just random bits of paper that she scribbled down ideas on over the past however many years, and just starts like working away in her book, as she did take another level in Wizard and is just like, I think probably realizing that this is sort of what she should have been doing all along rather than just taking the easy route on things, and is actually really enjoying theorizing different ways to use magic going forward. So she's in her own little bubble with the noise just around her. And I think unconsciously she has that raven feather that sort of drifted down to her, like as a bookmark in one of the books. Like she notices it, and then just sort of compartmentalizes it and puts it away. She's real good at that.
I think, Gwen, as you're noticing and ignoring, do you try to divert your attention? I guess my question is, do you actively try to divert your attention away from it?
Yes, I think it's a very deliberate choice to not focus on it, as opposed to just her regular attention jumping all over the place sort of thing.
Okay. If you would take a ride with me for a second.
Yeah.
As you look, I think there's a beginning of like what you're trying to, I'm going to just mute you, Evan, just for a second, just the keyboard. As you're trying to I think in my head for Gwen, the idea of like trying to formulate a way to be able to distract yourself from it might also kind of distract you a little bit from the wizard part of everything, or at least in like this sort of like scholastic sort of way of like trying to kind of like work down spells and things like that. And I think your eyes maybe come across another book, kind of like a pleasurable sort of reading storybook. Would you care to describe what if there's anything else on top of that you might be looking at, or something specific maybe?
I think it's probably one that she's had for a very long time, but hasn't opened. Maybe. Okay, take that back. It's a book that she had as a child that was lost in one of the many times that her mother yanked her out of a place without time to pack up, that she found another copy of sometime at university and picked it up and kept it with her, but has not read it since then, if that makes sense.
Yeah. As you're glancing over the pages, I imagine a book like this, there's probably illustrations, pictures, things like that. What do you notice?
Probably it's like one of those really nice hardback with the like gilded pages and illuminated pictures, like Grimm's Fairy Tales collective edition sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. I think there is a one more sort of like heavy splash in Prim's direction that kind of like pulls you back in recognizing that almost everybody is up.
I think Gwen would tidy away her papers, put everything back in her little secret chest, and then make the secret chest small, put it back on a bracelet. And then she's going to wander over and try to help Prim, noticing that she's struggling. And she remembers Owen also struggling often in the past.
Ow.
And how hard it is to do it yourself when it's that. You really have to remember a rap when you sleep.
I was a little preoccupied with a sexy elf man in my vision.
Okay, I really want to know a lot more about that.
Okay, so there was this guy, and he was like floating in the air, like above me, and he had like golden locks, kind of well, I don't know if they were a guy actually, because they kind of had like feminine features going on too with that. And then there was like this like aspect of them like trying to tell me that I should stay with the Fae. Don't understand that at all. But anyways, this is
as this is going.
Gwen's just fascinated.
As this is going on, I owe you. I imagine for you, there's a level of recognizing that sort of like area of in between the being awake and being asleep, but recognizing that you're, not to put it in personal experience, but you're in a room of people that are not going to stop talking or making noise anytime soon. So Io, as you wake up, what do you do?
So you see Io, his left hand is actually kind of clutching the bottle that he and Prim shared last night, probably a couple swigs lighter, And then you see him kind of fix his head wrap, which is kind of ajar. And if you look closely enough, you see a thin little line going up it, with what kind of looks like almost like kind of like a crocodile's maw of teeth. But that disappears as he puts it over his head, as he took another level in sorcerer.
Okay.
And then the first thing he sees Gwen and Prem wrestling with her hair, and seeing that her hair's a mess and similar in appearance and texture to his parents' texture and his girlfriend's texture. The first thing he just says, "Girl, your head looked like the cat sucked it." Gwen, what the hell are you doing? No. That's not at all how you do that. And he just starts psychically doing a proper kind of like detanglement and retwist job of her locks.
I
Gwen
cannot.
absolutely steps aside for Io's expertise here.
I cannot. Please take a point of inspiration. I cannot imagine in my head a better way to show the addition to the aberrant mind sorcery than to telekinetically be fixing locks of hair. I please take a point of inspiration for that.
Thanks. And then as he's doing that, he's like, okay, so the crucial thing here is, Gwen, if you're using your hands, palm roll retwist if the strands seem like they're kind of escaping at the root. You got to be delicate too, because you don't want her to have breakage. Also, I'm gonna give you my mama's favorite lemon water rinse. It's gonna be real good for your hair, Prim. Just remind me, otherwise I will definitely forget.
That would be great. I didn't really rinse them. I was interrupted in my last bath time, so I didn't get time to that. So it's been a minute.
Oh no, it's all good. You only have to do that like once a month anyway.
Like a spa here
It's been more than a
or
month.
something? Like a
It's been a hell of a
proper
week.
proper bath area?
There's got to be something like that here. I mean, this is the land of not just the elves, but like the super elves, ain't it?
Can I ask you a question?
What you need?
It has bothered me for years since we first met. How is it that for someone who has no hair is so amazingly knowledgeable about hair?
Well, you see, these things kind of technically work like hair, but at any rate, I've got parents, and I mean, sometimes you gotta when your mama got a sermon in the morning and she stayed up all night writing it, she need a little help with a retwist or a style. So, and I mean, Dad sometimes he was too busy, so I learned some stuff and some things. And then, not to mention my girl, sometimes she likes a nice little fresh redo. It's a nice little bonding activity, actually.
What's a sermon?
So, a sermon is like a lecture, but delivered by a man or woman of faith. I saw that, Al. I know you don't put no stock in no gods or nothing, but I'm just saying.
Just giving
So it's
away
like
blindly.
It's not always blindly.
So it's like when you make a mistake or you do something bad and they like give you a lecture.
I mean,
It's preemptive
some
lecturing.
I mean,
They're yelling at you for things you haven't done yet.
I'm gonna say for the the level of conversation that we've had so far on this, I'm going to give Kara the choice on whether or not she's been awake for this, or just now kind of waking up. But please describe how you're seeming this morning.
I think she's just very still, very quiet. She looks like she's still asleep. She's definitely awake. She's listening to all of this, letting this all just happen. But there's a calm silence over her as she took another level in Rogue. Level 6 Rogue, level 4 Cleric.
Nice.
And she's just listening and observing.
So they yell at you before you do anything.
Not all faiths are like that. Freedism is very chill, very relaxed.
Is that
It's
the original Frida?
yeah, we basically pray to Urzuli Frida. She's kind of like a fertility deity, so I mean, you've got
Like for
it's
crops?
most crops. Usually doulas pray to her, especially like when trying to deliver a baby. Usually a sermon will usually be, hey, so it's kind of a lot like a prenatal class.
Okay. Cool.
So like
Cool.
expecting parents can know what they need to look out for and how to keep their young tiefling kid from when they spit up, from causing a small house fire or something like that.
So it's real specific.
That took
Sounds
a
like
turn.
something that would have been useful a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the stuff may or may not be 100% necessary, but I mean, it keeps people calm.
Is do both your mom and your dad do these little lecture sermons?
No, that's more so my mom's gig. My dad's he's a librarian.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is it like a place that's, well, nothing's close here, but like, is it any place we've been to that the library is?
I mean, the library is pretty much a lot like the one that we went to, except I don't know if he's ever had to deal with somebody mistakenly flirting with him and then hating him for it after the fact, like
Yeah.
I did.
Well, it was, yeah. It's just misunderstandings and things, and you were trying to be nice. It's just sometimes things can come out wrong when I say them too, and then yeah, I guess that can happen. But we'll probably never see that person again. So that's
Silver linings.
yeah, silver linings. Can we go to your dad's library sometime?
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Yori, if we get back, I can maybe get us there.
Is it like is it in like Eriscar or?
Oh
I've been to a
no.
lot of places besides like I mean if it's in Azamar, I guess that's fine, but it's not my favorite place.
Nah, I'm
not
from
what
I'm from the
Asmar.
Isles. I'm from the Isles. It's in a place called Sway.
So, like in the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen the ocean. That's really cool. I mean, I've seen, I guess,
Yori,
in the water, but it was kind of not the
we've
big
sailed.
ocean. Well, yeah, but it was kind of like we were. That's like the place that's kind of I don't know. It's not like the coast that's like goes to everywhere and just nowhere, and it just goes on forever. And I saw a picture of it, and it's just like you could go there and.
It doesn't go forever, Yori. It doesn't.
Right, it falls off the side eventually to the like the turtles.
Is that a fire giant
Sure.
thing?
It's just a story, but I don't know where it goes. Does it fall off?
Pretty much loops around if I remember correctly.
Oh, like my kind of like my namesake, like it's like Jormungandr.
No, it's a sphere. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I mean by
It's not a
loops
ring?
around. I was
This would be
No.
cooler.
trying to be a little bit more, I don't know, easy to explain it. Yeah, I think we live in a great big old ball.
Okay, yeah, I mean, like, that's what, Snorri told me about that at some point. There are a lot of other stories, and I just wasn't sure which one was true,
Yeah.
Pim, you
I
look like you
guess
have
we,
a question.
I need to find either a bathroom or something like that, and I need someone to hold my hair because that alcohol is fighting back all of a sudden, and she just starts.
Kara, you're the
Use
cleric.
the fountain.
Yeah, into the fountain.
Yeah,
Alright.
I'm not gonna follow her. I'm not gonna follow her. So one of y'all ladies can, but that's not what I was. Yeah, that's not proper.
That was our only source of water.
I think it refreshes. It's like magical and stuff.
She's either going in the fountain or she's sprinting out and going towards the railing to throw up off the side of the tree.
There's, I would say there's like where you guys are in is it kind of this it is very like closed in. So I think you're throwing up in the
Potted plant
fountain.
in the hallway.
Yeah, I'm like Elbon.
Oh, there's plants in the hallway you can throw
Perfect,
up in for
yeah.
sure, but yeah.
Into the hallway, closest plant, all the throw up.
Beautiful.
I stay 10 feet away in prestidigitation as it goes.
On the cool floor for a good 2 minutes after that.
Beautiful. This room is not. It's not large. So for everybody who is, you're all hearing and actively probably trying to avoid these sounds.
Yeah, don't do it, please.
Yeah.
Good.
I will. I
In the
will.
cauldron.
I've got a good one, but I'll hold off.
Please do not.
Dan, make sure you
Oh,
check your
sorry.
Discord, buddy.
Okay, doing so now.
Prim, as you're doing it, Gwen, still 10 feet away, is making like a nice, cool little breeze just over your forehead.
Ow.
We'll get
Why
you
do
some
people
coffee.
drink?
Some people enjoy it when
They
you don't
enjoy that?
go too far. I think maybe we shouldn't drink any more of this wine to that extent. Io, how did you manage to not
Great.
end in this state?
Well,
Io, real quick, give me a. I would put it this way: give me a history check, and if you think Io is familiar with drug-inducing liquids, I'll give you advantage, but that's up to you.
I don't think he would be.
Okay.
That's something he'd be familiar with.
Yeah, give me a history check then.
What about your
6. That's 6.
Okay, 6. Yeah, you have no idea why you were able to.
Look, I used to have to keep up with Brahm.
And I think Io would basically say, "Well, I mean, I was for at least for a little bit. I was a sailor, so I mean, what else do you think we do when we get bored?"
I will say this with the 6, you get the idea this is not like any alcohol you've had before. So you do know that.
But I mean, elven wine. I don't know. Maybe it behaves differently. But aside from that, I really couldn't tell you. I'm just built different.
I just remembered I took all of Hadrian's alcohol too.
Oh, that's gonna be great for later.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
we save that for another night.
No, I'm not gonna drink it now. I feel horrible.
I mean,
That's
there
what
is
the hell.
such a thing as hair of the dog, but maybe we should try coffee and bacon and eggs. Do you think
Oh,
they
that
have bacon and eggs here?
I will go find and kill a pig-like creature if necessary.
I'd probably see if it's talking, like ask it a question first,
No.
because Faye, like,
I don't.
is
Yeah, that was
you
gonna be
never
my
know.
first-
You never know.
Yeah, that was gonna be my first worry. You might be killing somebody's grandpa, who just felt like turning into a pig for that afternoon or something.
Or there might just be a whole race
Can-
of pigs and they
can-
just talk to you. And
I think this is a highly important conversation that we should absolutely continue. But I was just curious if we had other plans for today. If we're gonna rest or stay for a day, there's things I'd like to do.
Some stuff I'd like to do too, starting with a proper bath and some air as I inch away from Prim.
Sorry.
I guess we did kind
There's
of.
only so much prestidigitation can do.
It's like
I mean,
praising it.
In some ways, we should have I know there's a lot of stuff that happened, but we should be. We're like heroes. I mean, the yeah, because it's like in order to separate yourself like that from you don't join either Seelie or Unseelie. A lot of the sort of like the hags are you have to have enough power to say, just tell each of them to like fuck off. Because it's like because they're either gonna recruit you or so like that was I don't know, that we killed this is really strong.
Yeah, I think we could use some downtime. I'd like to find a library.
I'd like to find breakfast.
Also,
Breakfast.
oh yeah, I mean, I can ask later. Do you know? You seem to know like about. I don't know. I haven't picked up everything, but like you mentioned the name first of Yex, and then there's some stuff going on, and then you really beat up the area where we like finished off the whole thing. You're really like firing a lot of magic into the ground, and so I don't know, is there like, if there's something going on there, or if there's a cool story and you want to share it, we can maybe do that later. It's the morning, so if we all want to go and like get ready, or I don't know, you guys brush something or bathe something, I'm gonna carry a cauldron.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I can go into some more details. I mean, I thought I kind of told you guys what I knew with my girl and everything, but yeah, I can kind of tell you it essentially why I kind of wanted to make her less than a memory. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun of a story, I guess. Yeah, let's do that later. For sure.
Yeah. Oh, can we do one of those? Gwen, can we do one of the things where the like?
I actually wanted to do one last night, but I think we all sort of fell asleep and went off into our own. There's some things that I think that would be useful, but the spell doesn't always have to be used for business. Is there one that you would just like to know about for fun? For history?
Yeah, I haven't. Well, where I grew up, the one of the people who kind of taught me how to fight, and he's the leader. He's the word is, it's like clan leader or clan head of the group of fire giants that I was with was called the Egther clan. They were herders. That's why I got Fenrir. Fire giants don't just go. I mean, they still fought and did a lot of other things, but like it's an important job to be able to like get food for everybody. And the clan, his name was Hrungnir, and I know there are some stories among the fire giants about him, but I don't know how well known he is. But if you wanted to check on him, I haven't been back there in a long time, and I don't know.
How
I'm not sure
about-
they're okay.
Yeah, how about we find breakfast, bring it back here, and we'll have a little story and a meal before we decide what else we're gonna do today. I think that sounds really nice.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. But
Can go find breakfast.
Okay, I'll get started.
Okay.
do you want me to bring the cauldron with you?
Sorry, who's
coming.
going to get breakfast? Alistair, you're going?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. As soon as you step outside the door, Lamaril, the basically handmaiden to Sarah, is seemingly kind of like waiting for someone to open the door. You have no idea how long she's been standing there waiting, but as soon as she sees you, oh, good. Words.
Were you listening at the door?
Words. Can I talk?
Oh, yeah. Yes, you can. Please. I'll repeat it in Elvish.
Beautiful. Yeah, because Alistair, you have Sylvan, right?
I don't have Sylvan. I have Elvish.
Okay, so you say Elvish?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then she just starts speaking in Elvish. She knows Elvish. Okay, great. So we were, you did a great thing for all of us. So there's the Verdant King and Stewart would like to request I don't know how you would put it in your it's a meeting, but somewhat more of an
audience.
An audience, sure. More of a celebration in your honor, in being able to congratulate and thank you all.
I'm sorry. How many? And like just with the Verdant King and a few other people, or?
Yes, members of the court, of course. The Lady Verdant and many of the others that you have met before. I wouldn't say more than 20. That's a representation of thanks, and that's why I, with the help of Lady Sarah, just recognizing that rest was going to be the most important part. We were going to make sure that it was under your time frame.
And when is this happening?
Your time frame.
Our just can you just wait 1 minute right there, please?
Yes.
Thanks. Right back. Turn around, shut the door. Hey, the Verdant Court would like to celebrate us.
Oh,
Yeah, guys, it's not anyone.
it wouldn't be the worst idea to go along with it and continue to foster a relationship here. We might need the help.
Was it like
Yeah,
a
but-
party?
But what do we do? I don't deal with. Do we need to dress up? Do we need to? Are we going to have
I
to?
think that's probably a
kneel?
question we'd have to ask, but probably.
Is there? Okay. What? Real quick. Also, would any of you be offended if Sarah was a part of what happened? maybe perhaps Sarah
Well,
dealt the.
she did stab me,
A
but she
couple
was
times.
useful.
Well, I mean, who didn't stab who? You know?
Yeah, she was there. I honestly don't know if we could have gotten there without her.
I think it would be important for the people here to
Yeah.
not have their heroes just leave. Maybe if one stayed, it would be good for them. Meaning Sarah.
I
Yeah, I'm
understood.
happy to give as much credit and focus on somebody else as possible. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something, write her a good story.
Mm.
She deserves one.
Yeah.
Cool. Does that story come with bacon?
Bacon. Yes. Sorry. Open the door back up. And in Elvish again. I didn't. This evening would be fine. To give us time to get ready. Say, is it 8?
Evening.
Yes.
Lovely.
There's-
That would give the court plenty of time to prepare. Also to make sure that we're celebrating in the correct attire, given your opinion, of course, as being the strong representation of your manner of dress in the material world.
I hold no station, so speak plainly. What are you?
We can. This is bad, but maybe a better version of this. I don't want to dress you like us, but just maybe a better version of this.
Okay.
The
Nope, you're good. Nope,
the part
So-
around your shoulders is fine.
Okay.
Looks like armor, but cloth. Pointing to your vest.
I'm. How did you know that?
You see her face kind of turn beet red. I don't know what your books.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Verdon told me what cloth was.
Got it. Could you do me a favor?
Yes.
It's great that they wish to celebrate us, but I'm sure wherever you go, I know my father was a worker at the university that I went to. I know that a lot of times people look. You
School.
have several friends that yes, you have friends that you probably talk to that are more in touch with the local population. It's important that they know that Princess Zara was a huge part of ending Ix and getting the children home, despite absolutely no real stake in it for her other than to help the people that need it here.
Insight check. Please.
That was a 9.
Okay, cool. I rolled a 6. She has this kind of like warm smile as you're beginning to kind of describe this, that as you stop talking kind of like pulls back in. She's, it has been a point of the court for generation after generation, for many years longer than you or I have existed, and representing honesty as being the foremost and important part of what is represented in the court. So if that is an honest statement, then by all means.
They ask that you share it with those that you know. I think it's important that the people here know who really put themselves out there for them and their children.
My station is of such significance that it may be of little consequence.
Smallest drop finds its way to the ocean.
Indeed. Also, I was given word from the guards outside that there is a rather odd-looking plant that is not. It's not typical for this.
Short or tall?
This was about 5 feet. That has appeared overnight, just outside of the courtyard, seemingly rather close to where you all are staying, and we were wondering if that was something that you would, if that was of your work or unrelated. Rather interesting, brightly colored plant.
You know, there are a lot of us, and we have a lot of things. I will check with the others to see if perhaps belong to them. I'm going to be going out later. Well, obviously now we all are going to go out. Before I leave, would it be possible? Do you know if the prince is here somewhere?
The princess?
The brother.
Yeah, he got a thing. What's his thing? The Archduke.
Archduke, yes.
Yes. He of course would be present and
Great. Was there anything else that you needed to let us know?
well, it was the last thing was that the Lady Vern wasn't exactly sure how long you would be staying, assuming at least for another day here with us. But in the case that there was going to be an evening ceremony instead of a morning ceremony, which clearly is well past, in case you were going into the city, this would be rather unceremonious, but I promise you will be important in the ceremony. As she gives you a large, like, it looks like it's basically like a package that's like kind of like just like wrapped up in a leaf, and you see there's 6 of them. They're kind of like stacked up on top of each other. They're about this big. I would recommend, if you're going into the village, to wear them proudly.
Princess Zara asked us to wear these.
Asked. It would be in your best interest on representing the heroes of Iabellon.
Understood. Thank you. Will you be there tonight?
I unfortunately am asked to be held outside of the court, but I will be celebrating in my own way.
Okay. Thank you.
She, if you allow her, she kind of like very surprisingly quick, kind of puts a hand over your hand on the leaves. Words cannot express how grateful I am in bringing back Our Lady Verdant. Uninjured.
Believe me when I tell you that she returned on her own.
Of that I do believe. All the same. Thank you. Kind of taps your hand twice and takes it off.
Turn around.
Actually, Alistair, you can see magic. She has cast something on you. I'll say, give me an Arcana check on. Yeah.
That one. I am not there today.
You're pretty sure she's cursed you. You're gonna die pretty soon.
Cool.
No, I think with a nat one, you. I think with a nat one, maybe you don't see it.
Yeah. No, I'm good with that.
Yep.
Because turn back around. So the princess wants us to wear these. If we go out today, that very nice woman.
I should be. You just turned around. So
Oh.
I should be coming.
Yeah.
Did you have bacon?
Oh, Yori, hold this.
Gone.
Alistair?
I'm going. Put those on. I'll explain later. I'll go find breakfast.
What?
You had one job!
Do you guys open your presents?
Yes.
Sure.
Sure.
I'm on the floor.
I open Prem's.
Doesn't answer my question.
Excellent. I'm not. Gwyn can open mine.
We're all
Cool.
on the floor.
Yes, technically. Okay. As one by one, as they're passed out, you all kind of open them up, and you see that they are very, very well made, carved. You can even see like the markings around each sort of vein of the leaves. As you see there, you are all gifted with a silver leaf pendant. Very similar to what was given to the guards, or what the high guards, as well as most of the court wears. I think for most of you, like having any sort of piece of understanding, like royal, like even just like the general sort of like vibe of royal, this is a high honor.
And we'll find a place to add it onto the various necklaces she wears.
Beautiful.
I think as I'm walking down the halls trying to find breakfast, I'm just have it in my hand, staring at it, admiring the craftsmanship.
Beautiful.
Io is actually looking at Gwen, and he's like, so I don't know, you think left breast, right breast, headband? I don't know where the best
Hear
place
me
to put
out,
it
Io.
is.
I have an extra chain. What about like around your horns or something?
Okay, I like that. Yeah, let's do that.
This is not discarding at all, but I think just a piece of information I should have probably given you guys. You've all seen it kind of like set up to their tunics like that, like so it's like way up here on that. That doesn't mean you guys have to put it there at all. As long as it's, you can just tell me if it's seen openly, that works.
Yes, mine is definitely very prominent.
Same.
Beautiful.
Throw it on the scarf.
Alistair, you
We
put it
have
on?
yours to your scarf.
Type in, yeah.
Real pretty.
Cool. Awesome.
Anybody wake up Kara?
Kara's awake.
We don't know that though.
Is she awake?
She has tattooed eyes on her eyes. Apparently, can't tell if she's awake or not. But yeah, Car, I
This
assume
way.
you're awake. Yeah. Cool. Alistair, I will simplify sort of things here. You are kind of like you do see a servant, a figure that just kind of like looks like a servant to you. Still like has that like elven sort of form. Kind of comes up to you, and like kind of like catching your eye. If you catch his eye, he is looking at you like waiting and watching if the stare is happening in a way of like, I'm lost, tell me where to go. He's going to immediately kind of come to him and like ask like, how could he be of service, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm going to give the exact down to like the amount of steps away from our room back to him. That way. There are 6 of us in there. Is there any way we could get breakfast for 8?
Of course, yes.
One
we
of them's
have a
very heavy. They specifically requested bacon or bacon-like product. I'm fine with just oatmeal or something.
There will be a celebration roast tonight, but most of our the moonlit blossom stew is very good. Kind of gives you a look of like, it's not meat.
You know what? That works perfectly. Can you bring some bread with that?
Absolutely. And just kind of like points to where I'll go get it right away. And kind of turns and walks down.
Head on back.
Beautiful.
Hey guys, unfortunately, it's a stew. And bread. They're doing a big thing for tonight, so everything's kind of taken. But Gwen can make it taste like bacon.
I can do that. You won't even know the difference, Prim.
Is there a bacon seasoning? I could put like a bacon seasoning on it.
Before
Yuri.
y'all do,
Yes.
before y'all do anything, can I take a taste of it as is real quick?
We don't have it yet, Io.
I know, but once we do, I want to take a taste of it completely unmolested first.
Well, yeah, I don't think we were gonna mess with anybody's like the whole pot. But
Yeah.
we'll make sure. Yeah, okay.
We're trying to trick Prim's
did they
nervous
just-
system into thinking she's having greasy bacon.
Did
Good
someone
point.
just say, "Hey, there's stew," and then that's it? Did they tell you where it was? Are they bringing it, or?
Without further ado, there's a knock on your door.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
You open the door, and there are 6 servants that come up, pushing into a cart, which is now like it's now very crowded in here as they start to present.
6 servants for 2.
Yeah, like literally present dishes in front of you.
You hear Gwen muttering about the excess of royalty.
100%. You see there is, so as mentioned, you assume the moonlit blossom stew. You see there is a pie that looks like it has some like strange sort of like very deep green leaves sticking out of it. A sort of like a creamy dish that kind of reminds you of some sort of like risotto. Still, it like even has like somewhat of like a yellow sort of look to it. And then you see what looks to be like kind of like a cake, but like a very like dry looking cake with pieces of like very like fiery orange leaves. Almost like seeming like basically like nettles, kind of like sticking out of it. It's a lot.
Right, Yuri, you ready for this breakfast show?
Oh yeah, I just got a sandwich. I'm not eating any of that, so I'm gonna eat one of those. You know, I brought extras.
I wish I
Fair enough.
I wish I explained that for the next 20 minutes and then got that response. Yeah, I'm not eating that.
Nice.
Corey, what the fuck?
Uh,
All right.
Kara, did you want to wake up and have breakfast?
I was gonna say, as soon as they put food in front of, like, as soon as they put food down, Kara did just silently roll over and start eating food.
Beautiful.
So, like, you say Kara, and you look over and she's like gremlin eating stew.
That's beautiful. There's probably a moment where like one of the servants just saw this like kind of like cluster of like clothes and things like in a general
And
sort
the
of shape
pure
of a
white
body.
changeling eyes, yeah.
yeah, and just like kind of like pointed down, just like in a sense of like not really sure if you spoke the language, and just being like, she okay? She good?
She's not a morning person.
And just puts food in front of that.
Io is just sampling everything. Like literally a bite of this, then a bite of that, then a bite of this. What's everything taste like so far?
Yeah, absolutely. So the moonlit blossom stew, you taste like has like a very like mushroom sort of vibe to it. You actually see there's some like bits of mushroom that's kind of like floating into it, but you notice also some like very like basic sort of root vegetables. You see like carrots, others like that. It's essentially like a beef mushroom stew but without the beef. You notice the pie has kind of a similar sort of like a pecan pie sort of vibe, but probably a little bit more probably not as sweet. To be honest with you, reading like the thank you, ChatGPT. The reading of the risotto straight up just looks like it probably just tastes straight up like risotto, and that sounds awesome. And then the cake has like this weird sort of it's not really like a spicy sort of flavor, but there's like this like very interesting like if you've ever had like there's a bunch of different names for it, but like Mexican chocolate ice cream, but there's like this like sort of like very interesting sort of like hot aftertaste to it, which is cool. Kind of like warms your whole body.
Oh, come on, little man. You missing out. At least eat some of this pie. It's almost as good as Al's mom's cookies.
I'm gonna not eat any offered food probably while I'm here, if I can avoid it, and that's why I brought a bunch of sandwiches. And also, that stuff looks weird.
What? But does it still work if it was offered to me, but then I offer it to you? Doesn't that like cancel out the offering? Kind of.
It's more of a general rule, and also, like an out if you just kind of like don't really like the look of things, but like feel rude saying no multiple times. So you say you have a sandwich, and then you don't have to eat whatever that. I don't like cream sauces very much. They're kind of weird, and I don't understand what's going on with that. Like, we just had the food that I had growing up looked like food. You know, it's like an egg looks like an egg, and meat is meat, and then, you know, that is. How do you even do that with like what is it?
So that was a lot to take. And Yori, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. What is you? If
You guys can leave. Just put it on the ground.
you're muted, Joe.
You say this in Elvish as
Yeah.
Yori is presented with a nettle cake.
No, that's plants. That's just like that's what my food eats.
Do you want this?
He doesn't
I
speak.
don't.
Oh, he's,
I mean, I speak Sylvan.
yeah.
Ah.
He does.
Do
No.
you want this? No? Okay. Just puts it back on this. Trying to think of like some sort of fantasy version of this. I think it's just a cart. I got nothing, guys. I'm sorry. I think it's just a cart.
It's a tiny dragon.
It's a tiny dragon
on the back.
riding on the back of a larger dragon, with giant leaves for wings that spread out in every direction.
True fantasy. Yes.
This room don't got room enough for all this.
Just a cart that just says Red Lobster on it on the side.
It is a red lobster.
Cheddar Bay biscuits would be so good.
It is a Red Lobster, but there's no meat inside, and they don't get the reference at all when you bring it up.
No, that's terrible. Hey, Prem, serious question for
No.
you.
Okay,
No, it's
what?
this right here.
Mhm.
What do you call those? Tree nuts, they grow on a tree. Sometimes they make pies out of them. What do you call that? That
Pekin?
nut.
Pekin pie?
So, Yori, the thing about people from South Iabellon, they
What is it about people from South Imea, Alistair? Do you
What do
want
you-
to finish
what do
that
you-
question? That
what do you
statement?
call it? What do you call it?
Pekin.
Pecan?
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Ain't
Doesn't
it
sound
called-
right.
Ain't it called
you
pecan?
go pecan.
Nah, pecan.
Pecan pie.
Pecan? Why are
Yeah,
there so
pecan.
many ways to say this nut?
Well, only one of those ways is right, and it's
The thing
pecan.
about
there like an official
languages,
committee?
Yori, is there's a lot of ways to say almost everything.
There's there's like a sort of like the youngest sort of looking elf, kind of like as they're leaving, kind of turns on. It's Sylvan petal pie,
Sure.
and then just sees the silence reading it, and then just backs out slowly.
Technically, isn't it a hickory nut?
You're awake.
Food must have roused her.
So we're talking about doing a little story time while we have breakfast.
Also, we're being celebrated by the verdict court today.
Mm.
Did they tell you what we needed to, wear?
She said nicer than this. So
Nicer
you
than
know,
that?
Exactly. Yori.
I will go shopping for everybody. Anybody who wants to come
Do
can
you
come.
think they have stores?
They must. They're a functioning society, which relies upon commerce and trade. I would assume.
Do you-
Well, functioning might be a little bit of a...
Couldn't they be one of those ones that like just like everybody, it's like to the best of whatever you
Typically,
need
those
and
sorts of
what you
societies
can
don't
give
run on nobility
and-
and have a social structure that is so rigid.
Oh.
Have you ever had the pleasure of seeing Elvish made weapons, armor, clothing?
I don't know. I mean, everything everything I always saw was just giant made or whatever I've seen in combat, and I don't think I've ever seen any Elvish stuff except for
Dwarven made materials are sturdy and reliable, but Elvish are that and beautiful.
Yeah, like an elvish double is like the double she told you not to worry about, versus dwarven one. It's gonna last. It's gonna last a couple centuries, but yeah, you can still see all. You can still see all the little imperfections and whatnot. Elven version, either there are no imperfections or the imperfections somehow make the thing look even better.
I bet they're great.
Yori, if you don't want to dress up, this is our celebration, and we will make them
I mean, if they're gonna
accept
give me
it.
elven armor and weapons, I'll wear that. I just thought we were talking about cool. I mean, yeah, I will. I'll wear. I mean, I already kind of wear whatever is available as long as it's not uncomfortable, and But
So no cravats. Got it.
What's wrong with the cravat?
Or Yori.
so-
You'd look very nice in one.
Little
have
man
you?
would look good in some ceremonial armor. Like, some of that armor that's purely there for ornamentation, but ain't gonna keep you safe from nothing.
I mean, I already have. I mean, I mean, I'm sure elvish stuff is really good, but like when you can forge stuff in, like, the heat of a volcano, you can do some pretty cool stuff with it. And if your whole society kind of lives there, like there are even like, competitions for just metalworking in general, not just weapons. And the Ildeotin are pretty good at forging too. Of course, all their stuff is really big, so this I helped with this one. Everybody
Great.
in the town has to hit it in order for you to be allowed to wear it. Anybody wants to. Not everybody has to, but there's like a thing after you make it, and then everybody hits it as hard as they can, like, while you're wearing it, and that's kind of like, then you get to, that's like the first armor that you make, and to make sure that it's really functional, and it is. And I had to do mine over several days because I can only be big for like 3 minutes a day, and they didn't want to do it while I was this size. But I thought the armor looks pretty nice. If I maybe I can just get like a better cloak or like something fancy around it, or
We can shine it up.
Yeah.
maybe they're gonna have
A
to
little bit.
tailor the whole left side differently. Do you still have
Yeah.
my other arm trim?
Well, yeah, I think.
So
Okay.
while we're talking, Gwen is gonna pour some water for Prim, but use prestidigitation to warm it up and make it taste like coffee, and then hand it to her and say, "Have some coffee," and just try to make her believe that it's actually coffee to try to trick her.
Just
a minute.
closes
We just
closes
talked about
eyes at this
placebo.
point. It just. Oh, that's the good stuff. Okay.
Oh, it tastes like the best coffee you've ever had.
Oh, thank
Black,
God.
strong.
For clarification, just to make sure, because we were confused stuff at the beginning. When Yori, you say your arm, you mean your bracer and maybe like the gauntlet, right?
Yeah, there's no actual arm in it. It's just
There's no
the
actual
it's
arm.
the
Right.
armor itself I detached with, and the gauntlet, it was attached to sort of the
Just
I
wanted to
just-
make sure we're on the same page on that. The arm.
Yeah, the arm is not it's just the arm. Yep.
It's
Cool.
on the wall, I think. I left it.
Okay, I don't really need it right now, but I don't know if the gauntlets will even work without it. Anyway, we'll figure that out later.
Just do the one arm shawl and put it over where the arm was lost, and kind of do like a cloak thing on the side. That's
I
my
thought
plan.
I'd be like 2 arms on one side, and then I could punch with both of them at the same time.
Yeah. Thank you for the coffee. Don't have mushroom soup after being hungover. It does not taste great. Just let
I
it.
don't like
Awful,
mushrooms.
actually.
I'm pushing.
I'm gonna jot down on a piece of paper exactly what I would like Gwen to buy for me today, and my measurements exactly because I know them, and hand them over to her. Yori, did you want to get out and? Sorry, Gwen, if you could just pick those up for me.
Did you want to do the story Yori or story Yori? Or do you want to do that
Are we
later?
Well, I want to make sure that I help Alistair, but so if
We can
stay,
wait.
then we'll do that, and then
Yeah,
Are you-
'cause I'll go with Gwen shopping because I have no idea what my
okay,
sizes are.
we'll do story first. Which one are we doing? The one I asked for, or a different?
I wanna try something.
Okay.
It might not work,
Okay.
but as we cast the spell, I want to try to maybe cast it with or through you. You have the most knowledge of this. Just borrow that for the spell. We'll see if it
Okay. I
see
trust
if it
you.
works.
I know a lot of stories about him.
Just kind of have that in your mind as we start this, and we'll see if it works. So we'll take the 10 minutes, set it up, all of the incense, find a blank wall, because that's how her spell always does. Projects it up. All right, close your eyes, Yori. I'm going to take his hand in both of mine, and as I cast the spell, thinking the name Hunir, is that how it's pronounced?
Hrungnir.
Hrungnir. We're gonna see what legend lore has to say about this legendary figure of Yori's.
You're gonna like him. He's really cool.
I'm excited.
When you that's not what I want. Hold on. We'll do that one. When you tell me how you try to involve Yori in this spell.
I feel like as part of this, my quill is sort of connected to my soul, basically. So I want to try to focus on that and then reach it out and try to just sort of connect with a thought strand that Yori is so connected to. In the magic works in weird ways, and sometimes there can be like sympathetic pathways, and just sort of focus in on this figure that Yori's told us about as he's thinking the same thing, and the spell sort of like settles, the incense goes up and settles around us as it then.
Is there anything you do physically? Is there a physical representation of you?
Yeah, she's
including
holding
Yori in
like
this?
his hand in hers and sort of like just focusing on that point between
Okay.
them. And probably the quill is in there as well, as that's her focus.
Between the hands.
Yes.
Gwen, I need an Arcana check.
All right, D&D Beyond, let's go.
Yeah.
It's a 10.
Okay. As you take a moment in experimenting with something as strange and as volatile as magic, I think at first you feel this weird sort of like gentle tug, as a representation of almost like plucking a string that you've manufactured or tethered between yourself and Yori. You feel it fade a little bit. You feel in this moment there's something that's not quite right. There's something that's disconnected and broken slightly. You realize that the remnants of the sanctum that you made before might be lingering here. Do you?
Yeah, she'll
try to
drop
move
this.
away?
I mean, the spell lasts for 24 hours, so it's technically still up.
Mhm.
So she would just drop the spell if that seems to be interfering.
You got it. As you notice that interference does seem to block something from it. Your mind quickly goes from being plucked like a string to then being grabbed and pulled hard, melding some sort of magical connection between you and Yori, moving into the idea of what you were looking for, but in a way that seems to push and hold you outside of your control. You instinctively grip your hand tighter to Yori, but the pen floats up and away towards the wall. And it's almost like it's moving outside of your will, as it doesn't draw its storybook written pages. It doesn't bring that same sort of Gwyn quality to it. Instead, it is drawing a hard, heavy oval. As the ink moves into the flat surfaces of the blocks around, you see it kind of stretch out and start to extend into these sharp angles. As you notice, your spell is working. But more so in a way of opening up something. Not a legend lore, not even necessarily anything to specifically read, even though you see symbols starting to form. You get the feeling that this is more of a message.
With hell and burning eye, swords keen shattered and reddened spear, armor crimson with refulgent light, hands swollen with pernicious promise, a drum, a breeze, a fallen branch, an empty hollow log, a debt. But in the realm of Feywild's grace, fairy danced with tranquil pace, unmoved, unfeared, the Uten babe about their feet, a taunt, a debt, a play, a jest. Hail day, hail sons of day, hail night and the daughter of night, with eyes of blessing behold, wild hoof, wing and thorn, anathema. The world trembles. The giantess is heard, a joyful echo there. Sits his cairn and strikes the harp. The red cock, called all wise, crows to him from across the wood, and summit trembled, yet ground was embered. Branch and vine cascade as cinder, bone to bone and blood to blood, limb to limb, and day surrenders. Night, each burning armor, fought awake amongst the dream of Suta. 4 dawns passed with absent sun, then son of earth with swelling heart drove forth under the play of swords, and moon's path rumbled beneath him. Before him blazed all the realms of space. The ground was dashed with hail, and earth rent asunder as the mighty hooved and quick of wing were laid to rest. One armor like to mock the night, hammer striking anvil, the other now left behind in frost and ash, and mountains trembled and were cloven, and oceans blazed, and Rungna, father, herdsman, teacher, never fell. He stands still, and all is quiet, though through the silence laughter. Homeboy of iron and dust, through veins carved with stars, with nails like knives, and all the Feywild quiets, a mouth drawn wide, drawn shut, smiling for the taste of it. The giants stir, armor refulgent with the burnt sun. The fair folk smirk with hands soft the night air, hold her breath before the storm, and the child groan, the child bound in briars, open their eyes to see. All fire, all frost, all waiting, all lost, steps forward, oh boy, my candle bladeless, shieldless voice like a flint strike. The ground rises to meet him, broken earth, ash that is not ash, a sun that shatters in whispers, Ichthyr's fingers still in the half-drawn song. The rhythm falters, a world holds its breath, but the trees speak in tongues, and he moves step by step, each one a crack in the unseen, till the air thickens, till the silence curls in surrender. Reach, heedless, through thorn and cradle unshaken, his hand, his only weapon, the weight of names, a father's lost words, the absence of fear, and somewhere in distant lands, turning through the glass drops of blood, mingled with the passing of time, grow muddled and grant a fleeting moment, one breath, one stolen line, to turn the hearts of those still brave enough to listen. Distantly, a calloused finger plucks a gentle note to a call to arms on a familiar harp. A summons heard in dusted dreams, where words lay bereft and thin as smoke. A voice that cannot be abated calls, an aberrant song, a dire call for blood and bone. Bring forth your will, unavowed, unadorned, from the ash and the embers rise. Let ardor ablaze your heart as you enter shadowed woods. Boy, take down your mask now. His animosity adamant abandons abeyance and abjures fear, striding fast where giants brood, where fair folk weave their coda of curses, blandishments of gleaming eyes. Hail sons of day, says the warrior one voice. Hail daughters of night who bind the dark. Affable they come, then callous behind. To you they show one face, and to the moon another. And the path, abrading beneath his feet, is lit by cruel fire, his resolve alloyed in shadow. Beyond the alder wood release your full name, which the Backle held so dear, with eyes a mirror to the sickened flame. Jormung Gandalf strike chords that crackle like brittle leaves, each note drawn from the midden of souls, each tone a serrated edge to graze that night. And in that embered hand, that adorned plate, beneath the baleful stare, waits my true brother, eyes open, not fire but ice, ice that burns and consumes all. Walks on, unwavering, gather the shades up, for he knows that all accords are castigate, or amnesty alloyed with thorns that assail the heart. Come, breaker of peace, bring your blandishment, bring your heart benighted, embolden yourself, and I will find the song they sing in secret places, and I will scour it away until no echo remains. And when Tok newborn screeching, his hands reach beseeching, and the light bends, their voices blend, a crescendo fierce and clean. He will find you there, little candle, go and fulfill your promise. Come, breaker of peace, bring your blandishment, bring your heart benighted, embolden yourself, and I will find the song they sing in secret places, and I will scour it away until no echo remains. And when Tok newborn screeching, his hands reach beseeching, and the light bends, their voices blend, a crescendo fierce and clean. He will find you there, little candle, go and fulfill your promise. And Tok newborn screeching, his hands reach beseeching, and the light bends, their voices blend, a crescendo fierce and clean. He will find you there, little candle, the sons of day, says the warrior warm voice. Hail daughters of land, who bind the dog of above a come and callous behind to hide the fear as my brother he draws near. Hail day, hail sun.
And with that, we're going to take a 10-minute break. See you guys in 10. We are back. The series of images and sounds that have basically completely seemed to reverberate off of the walls as this very loud, booming sort of sound stops almost as quickly as it starts, with this heavy sort of hard crunching sound of stone grinding into stone. When you finally are able to let go of Yori, but it's almost with a sudden lurch, as if your muscles had just sprung into action of what you originally wanted them to do.
I
Yori,
feel like as she pulls back, she just wipes just the tiniest little bit of blood from her nose.
Yori, as you're staring at that now blank wall, how do you react?
I think there are... Yori's face looks kind of blank. Like a cold stare at the wall. But you can see that there are tears streaming down his cheeks. And his hand is now clenched tight enough that he's drawing a little bit of blood from his palm from digging his fingers in, and I think he just keeps staring there blankly.
It was maybe a little more than I meant it to be, Yori. Are you okay?
Fine. Alistair, I need a new arm. A good arm. And I need something else. I need you to remove these. We talked about it. I need you to... I need you to... I need you to cut off my wings. And I need an arm. And then... there are some fae that I need to find.
It seems like a pretty permanent solution.
If we find them,
Wings.
you all might see a side of me that Snorri asked me to hide. But now Carter, cat asked me to be ice. Asked me to be your Mungandr. Somebody say something. Can you get me an arm?
The arm would be easier than the other thing you asked. I'm certainly willing to do whatever you want from me, Yori. And I may need help or most certainly supplies to do this. Why don't we talk more about this today? Give it some thought.
All right.
It would be helpful to know exactly what you're looking for.
If no one will help me, then I'll do it myself. And he reaches behind him and grabs his wing, and he attempts to tear it off.
I'll cast Hold Person on Yori. That's a Wisdom 18, sir.
If don't stop him, then that's what he'll do.
Can you not hear Alistair?
No, I can't actually.
Oh, he's
said
talking
anything.
to
He's
him.
been talking to you this
Yep,
whole time.
haven't heard him at
whole
all.
time, yeah, this whole
Oh,
So
time.
weird.
Can you not
and
hear
really,
me at all?
Unfortunate.
I can hear you.
Frozen.
We can hear you
I
fine.
can hear you.
I can hear you
Yeah,
fine.
he's frozen
Yeah.
for me.
Oh,
No, he's,
so-
I need to
is-
reload.
he's offered to help
I-
It's that thing again.
Evan,
yeah,
do a
we
quick
were all
refresh.
waiting because he was offering to help
Yeah, he was,
you.
you. Yeah.
We were like,
I was like, wait, Alistair's saying, hold on, what's happening?
I know, I was confused.
Yeah.
That
Technical
explains so much.
It really does, because I was like, wait, what?
You
I
guys
started
thought I was
getting
just
concerned.
messaging him the whole time. You don't hear him.
Well, I started getting confused when he's like, is nobody gonna say anything? I was like, but Clinton just did.
yeah, I know
Wait.
that's where I was at too. I was like, but you just
I was like, huh?
It makes sense for me too, because I was like, no one answered him either. So I was like, is anybody else gonna do anything? Like, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
You couldn't hear
Yeah.
me.
Right, right.
I was gonna let the chorus play out. I'm like that.
Oh, the joys of streaming.
So you have to redo that whole conversation you just thought you were having with Yori.
Mhm.
Oh, no, I
Great
hope he can
emotion
come
on Evan's
back.
part.
Mhm.
Imagine Evan's getting pretty pissed, actually. Like, dude, I'm talking right to
Yeah.
this guy, and he's not saying anything.
Yeah.
In fairness, that's why you guys watch the stream.
Well, the stream looked fine.
No, I mean, I assume, yeah. I assume you can see
A
the,
little bit better?
the lips moving.
Can you hear
I
me?
think so. Yeah, this happened to me on one of Monday's games too. It was so weird. Some people I could hear fine, and some people were frozen and I couldn't. That's unfortunate timing. I felt
Yeah, I
real.
know.
Yeah.
I'll be working on fixing that this weekend. I
All right,
promise.
so the gist is, as I told you, it would be probably outside of my ability to do it alone, but we definitely need to go get some supplies. We could talk about it as we went around through the day. Happy to help you, but just maybe if we could talk about it a little bit more. And an arm would be much easier to do than the wings, and we still need to go get supplies for that as well.
Okay, so how about
And then I cast Hold Person on you
How
because you
about,
were
how about
ripping
you
the wings
Yes.
off.
don't kill yourself
Absolutely.
for ripping your wings
Right. I would say that he's so in his head that he doesn't hear that until you cast Hold Person on him, and then he sort of snaps
Fair
out
enough.
of it and notices you. Yeah.
The ringing in your ears kind of just all of a sudden sort of subsides just for a second as you're unable to
Yeah.
move.
Yori,
But
Hey.
are you? Where does? What was
I
I
need-
just
I need you to-
doing?
I need you to stop. Okay, let's
Okay.
talk about this. Right, we're not making any decisions like this in the moment. Fair?
can-
I'll hear you
Did,
out.
did you say you can get me? Did you say you can get me an arm?
Well, I can definitely get something temporary. For now. And then we can work on something different for you, something more fitting for you, something that's yours, something everyone can hit on to make sure that it's good. We can all take a swing at it.
Well, they're all dead, so they can't hit anything.
I will punch your arm. I will take it out if needed to make sure that it's durable. We'll do some checks and balances.
Above board.
Mhm.
That statement, and this is for everybody. That statement of saying they're all dead. For a moment, as the epic poem is kind of washing over all of you, there's periods of things where it's possible that some of you were in character kind of lost in the moments of trying to understand and connect with the words. They're all dead rings very true to all of you as you recognize that Yori's talking about his family. Yori, you saw the image of your long lost friend at the end of the page. And you know, technically speaking, that's unlikely to be fully true, as what you received was not a legend lore, but a message. There's someone you need to find.
Yuri, it's been a lot that we've been through. You okay?
There's a Yori didn't really exist for you all. And there's a part of me that's fine, the same as it always is, except now pointed in a new direction. But it feels like Yori is hard to hold on to. And there's less of me now. And I've said the Fae that kept me here I told you about them, some brother and sister is all I know about them, and they look kind of like me. And when I was with Krungnir and Kat, they found me. Krungnir, he's in charge of that family and of that area, and he's a leader, and Kat was young when they dropped me there. And she grew up with me. She wanted to be she was training to be what we called Skjaldvander it's kind of like someone who's a diplomat and a writer and a storyteller, and so that, I don't think that was a normal legend lore. I think that was from her. When we
It
write,
felt like a message to me.
when they write, the ones who train, when they write that, it's more than just a story. It spreads, it grows. The people who sing it, but she wouldn't have written the words. They're what it means is that the same fairies that dropped me there, who came to find me and found me protected, and again came to find me, and now I'm not there. And they took somebody, and I can't do it justice. It's the poem. They took a newborn child named Tak, and he must have had a new son since I left. He named it after Tak is a character I invented. I told the giants about. They fought, and I don't know how are they that strong and I am this? Because Hrungnir must have fought, and the other Lyotin of the Ekther clan. And I saw them, and I saw they all died. Whatever power they fought, and Hrungnir fought, and he, for 3 days, and he lost his arm. The story, he also lost his arm. And in the end, he didn't fall, he never falls down. But he died. And I know that because Kat must still be alive. And his baby must still be alive if they took it. Kat is asking me to find him. She's calling the name the giants. What is my true name? Here in this place, she called it. and I have to find him, and I have to do things to them that this Yori might go away. But I need help first. And I know we have so many things to do, but I don't even know where they are. And if they're powerful enough to kill an entire clan of fire giants, that's why I needed a strong arm. And we need to get stronger, and I need to get stronger, and I need to find them.
Well, if there's one thing we've shown that we're pretty good at, it's finding people who took children.
Seems like that's our thing.
I'm just realizing now that is apparently you guys' thing.
That's our thing.
You hear that, New Moon? We're coming for you.
We are.
Taking your kids.
No, they're the ones taking the kids.
We just
We're
need Alyssa.
finding
It's fine.
We take
Don't
them back.
worry about it.
And Yori, we will get stronger.
Yeah.
We just did a spell that nobody else has ever done this way.
Gwen.
We did that.
Yes.
And you are always going to be you. As he puts both his hands on each of Yori's shoulders. At the end of the day, you can hold on to as much of you as you choose to hold on to and still accomplish your goals.
Gwen.
Yes.
Hearing as if it was almost coming out of you as well as coming out of Yori, hearing the story and hearing the counting of Yori's explanation of it. I'd like you to give me an Arcana check. Actually, sorry, a history check with advantage.
History. Ooh. Thank goodness it's at advantage. Dirty 20. No, sorry, 19.
19.
Yeah.
Your eyes dart over to the storybook you were looking at in distraction. Tales of fantastical beasts and knights and creatures fighting other creatures. Concepts of fairies and giants fighting each other is not new. But to take out a multitude, there's no way they acted alone. They had allies. Help. And looking at the storybook and remembering the stories on there, you think in your head,
Now, this is an above table question, but sometimes giants have like connections to the Fae, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And we heard that the wild hunt had been started, and we know of other children.
Correct. I'm going to give you just what I have here on this. That recognizing that in the way of evil teaming up, might be time to get some allies.
I think our first step to get stronger is we can't do this alone. I don't think that the people who hurt your family acted alone. I don't think anything. I think they had help. And I think we'll need help too. Tonight is probably a good start in forming allies. But we need more.
That's just what we're gonna have to do.
Kat never really knew Yori. But maybe when she asked for help, maybe Yori is the stronger one because he has help. And I don't know where he is, but if we could find Snorri, I don't know.
Between Io and I, we can probably reach out to him, to Kat. Even.
We could find Snorri
Definitely.
and Kat, and we can go find the Rune King, or get there. Or maybe I probably need an arm for that. And yeah,
I think what we need to do, because there's a lot, and looking at it is overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Let's focus on getting you an arm. That's our goal for today or in the near future. And we'll come up with a list. Lists help. Potential allies. And eventually we will just keep taking one step after the other until we're powerful enough to save Maeve, to save Talk, and to avenge your family.
Okay.
It's just like a story, right?
Yeah.
We're in the call to adventure stage right now.
Yeah.
Gathering allies.
Does Yori take comfort in that?
I think there's a part of what she said that he takes comfort in, but the part about it being a story and the sacrifice feels like that call to adventure was traded too much. It's not what he would have wanted for the story to be important, for there to be a moment for the character to be, want to avenge something, or we were already on a mission. So, but he does take comfort in the idea of stories. And I think he there's an armor there of being in a story.
There's a knock at the door.
Okay.
I'll go get it.
Next step.
Next step.
You see Sarah in some very peculiar looking clothing. You notice when she went, actually for you guys, it's actually pretty normal. When she went adventuring with you all, it was more of a get-up that was like designed for adventure, for brushing through the woods and things like that, with just like long sleeves sort of. You notice that there has been already a little change in her appearance. As you see, there is it's not a dress, it's more of that sort of same sort of like tunic and like leather pants sort of look, but having this sort of still green and gold regality to it. Conscious thoughts of gender aside, it looks very a little bit more conventionally masculine, unfortunately, in that way. As she kind of comes up and hi, everybody. Have a good sleep. How long do they sleep in your?
About
5
8
hours? 8?
Yes.
That's the
Looking
goal
good.
most nights, honestly.
How do you get anything done?
Killed a hag.
Perseverance.
Yeah.
We can't all be a local hero.
That's a very nice badge you have there.
Thank you.
Well, I was informed by Lamaril that you all were up and at 'em, so to speak. She also told me you were unsure of the plant visitor outside.
What plant visitor?
Was a plant visitor?
There's so much
dryad?
going on.
Yeah.
No. So did you not tell them?
There was talk of
This morning. What's this about a plant visitor, Sarah?
Well,
Wait, I'm sorry. Can we even understand her? Or is she speaking Elvish? I forgot.
She
There's a
handed
plant
the
visitor.
translator off.
Okay,
at some
Gwen would
point.
cast tongues so she could understand.
She has a
and
translating
then say
tongue.
that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
had
yeah,
it.
yes, yep.
But she
I
gave
think
it to somebody else when they were dealing with the orphans earlier. So
Someone give it
Shiny.
back to her.
perfect. There we go.
Thank you.
perfect.
She's taught, but I will say, like, just for the sake of like, she's talking, you don't understand her, and she's, yeah. There's a plant outside that's rather foreign to anything that I've seen.
Can I step
it's-
past her and look out? to see it?
You'd have to kind of like, you'd have to walk out and then towards the stairs and like leaning down as it's like, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll go. I'll do that.
you got it. Cool.
To go
Um,
into the village, so we could do that on the way. We might as well get started with our tasks for the day at the same time.
Kara, roll me a nature check.
Guidance.
Yeah.
Uh, 16.
16. The 16, there is, looking outside, you see this very strange sort of, it looks like a bulb of a reddish sort of pink flower, but it seems to kind of extend out around itself and has these very like pointed sort of ridge-like, almost looking like teeth around what looks to be an unopened bulb, kind of like facing down. I will say with a 16, you aren't familiar with it, but it looks tropical.
Does it remind me of the mage flowers that try to eat Alistair and Celeste?
Pointedly does not.
Okay.
I would say, like, in general, sort of speak, it does have that kind of sort of like look to it, but you notice like specific, like, you don't notice any sort of like magic necessarily gleaming off of it. You do see it looks like it's actually kind of like moving up and down as if it is, within the wind, as if it is holding something in the bulb.
Did you check inside it, Zara?
No. I thought maybe it wasn't for me.
All right, I'll take a look. If
Okay.
nobody stops her, she's gonna keep going towards the flower.
Fine, we'll go with you.
Anybody else?
Definitely. I need to get up.
Looks tropical.
I refuse to go.
Hey, Io, it would be very helpful if someone from an area that is similar to the tropical climates on our material plane would go out there and look at a plant that might resemble
Let's
something
maybe
from
you-
there.
Yeah, no, yeah, I can go. I can go.
I'm gonna hang out with Yori.
Yeah.
It's not like a. Is it a flower?
Are you asking the DM? It's like a flower,
Okay.
but it's flower-like.
Yeah, Kara's already walking towards it.
We should
Cool.
just go.
Either go or we're gonna have a chat because we need to talk about what you just said. So
Looks like
You
we're going
going?
to a flower.
Okay. You all walk up to this long, extended plant. Kara, you beat them there first as you see it kind of like moving in the wind. You notice that the plant, like there's these long sort of green leaves that seem to be kind of extended out and pointing sort of downward with it. But this large bulb, as you come closer to it, is standing about 5 feet. As you come towards it, you see it noticeably sort of like move away from you. Not like by the roots, but like the bulb itself seems to kind of like pull away from your presence.
Are there any like leaves it's dropped? Has it like dripped? This is weird. Like liquid off of it? Is there anything from it no longer touching it?
No, I would say like actually surrounding it, it actually is like somewhat of a like a grassy sort of clearing. But you
the
don't see any
bulb
sort of
moved
like
away, but it
yeah.
has like long leaves coming out the side.
Right, yeah.
Can I move over towards one of the long leaves? And does that
Sure.
move away from me?
It does not. Just
Can
the
I
bulb
insight
itself.
check the leaf?
Insight check the leaf?
Yeah, well, I'm going to use my powers on the plant, but I don't want to touch the bulb because it's moving away from me.
I'll simplify this and tell you, like, you go to like try to do that, and you recognize this thing doesn't seem to be a creature. In that
Yeah,
way.
but my power works on objects too. It's sensing the strongest emotion connected to the thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, give me an insight check.
What is it now? Jesus Christ. Does a 30 work?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say with a 30, given the
How to honor a 30.
The plant itself, you notice, you actually just you get you don't you all you get is sort of like a visual of a figure in what looks to be plants and twigs, or sorry, like twigs and leaves in this long matted hair. Some of it is dreads, kind of like leaning down, but eyes that seem to be kind of like almost slightly sort of like bulging as you see a figure that is somewhat sort of hunched over in a shawl. You see there is you see it's kind of like cloudy, but you see a vision of another figure that I'll say from your sort of look of this, you actually see what looks to be like very like large bristly sort of curled hair out in this big sort of like somewhat of like a fro, but it's facing away from you, the other figure. You're muted.
She's gonna just back away, keeping her eyes on it towards the group, and casually pull her daggers and just be like, there's something. I don't like its energy. Something about dark figures and maybe being consumed by plants. I don't know. It's weird.
Did you just vibe check a plant?
I did.
Okay, cool.
I can't help myself.
I assume with this, you all start to kind of like come over and Io, give me a nature check with advantage.
All right, that's exactly what I was gonna do. Oh wow, that's pretty damn good. So base is a 19. What's my nature again? That's a 21.
21. Nice. So the interesting thing about this is that Io, at first glance, you actually really don't recognize this plant at all. Given the sort of like bright colors to it and the large sort of like fanned out leaves, giving these almost like palm frond sort of effects, you get the idea of this being somewhat sort of a like a tropical sort of like flavor of plant. But I'll say with a 21 nature check, it kind of falls into line of that you get this overwhelming feeling of a sort of like this I think Io, you kind of view it as like a pit in your stomach. And you're reminded of what you've been missing over the past few days, involving your connection with Eris. How close are you?
Io was getting pretty close to the plant, and he's like, I mean, maybe I should just try and welcome it. And I think he kind of gestures the bulb to come closer to him.
The bulb moves through, almost like snake-like towards you, as it rests the tip of its head onto your hand and opens up, revealing a somewhat of like another bulb, but it seems to like detach from it and kind of rolls into your hand. This one is a very like bright pink.
Yeah. Well, ain't that a gas? And then as he's holding this, as he's inspecting this bulb, does it look like it, like, you know how sometimes like a walnut has like that split thing? Does it look like it splits open?
It absolutely does.
And okay, he's gonna try to gently pull it apart.
You got it. As you go to gently pull it apart, it kind of like seems to kind of catch on the idea and starts to kind of bloom out to this open sort of shape. And you see these green sort of tendrils seem to wrap. One of them kind of wraps around your arm. And pierces into your skin. you take a point of piercing damage as you feel this gentle sort of like this like kind of like grabbing at you. Ow. But Io, with your 21, you get the feeling that it's verifying. It's trying to make sure you are you. As the other sort of like green tendrils of this thing that fits in the palm of your hand starts to shape and splinter and move in and on itself as if creating a shape. And you see a humanoid sort of figure. Hands extended out. There's this like brush of almost like turns white into like almost like a cauliflower sort of look around behind its head. It looks like Eris.
He's cheesing like a and then I guess what expressions on her face?
It's very hard to tell.
Okay.
So basically you're seeing like a small sort of like root figurine of Eris. I think for the rest of you guys just see a like humanoid sort of figure and you have no concept of like what Io was looking at. But you do all hear a voice. It seems just slightly sort of smaller, in a like almost as if it's having to be pushed through this, like your voice if it was being pushed through blades of grass. You hear this. Do I go now? My dearest Io. Mon hero. Champion. I scarcely know where to begin. My heart is so full, and yet my hand trembles. There are no words grand enough to capture what I feel, but I'll do my best. You've done what no one thought possible. You've destroyed her. Ombre de ma vie. It's a shadow such as clung to me for so long. You freed us from the hell prison. Their claws that reached so deeply into the very fabric of everything. I'll admit, I wasn't so sure you'd... Then again, I knew you'd rise to a challenge. As for me, well, I can't say I'm feeling perfect just yet. Some after effects of the whole mess. I'm fine, really, just a little less sprightly than I like. I've been told I'll be back to my usual self soon enough, I'm sure. We both know I'm hardly the type to let a little pity slow me down. You've done your part. It's only fair I do mine. I miss you. I will wait for you here. For however long you can keep up this hero business. Don't get too comfortable, so I have plenty of plans of my own. It's all my love. Close it back up.
Okay, so Io, full fountain of tears. Not necessarily in a comedic sense, but you do see it. You do see it. Him kind of at the same time grinning from ear to ear. He's like, just says, "Anything for you, mon cher." And it's it's really embarrassing with all of y'all right here to hear that. But
Seems like I get
go
it.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm just glad we could do that for her.
Is she okay?
Sounds like breaking that connection probably caused some things, so she might be on the mend, but yeah, I think she's gonna be all right.
Is she? She's not like a flower now, is she?
No, I mean, she used some kind of odd nature magic, so I just assume it's some kind of extension of that. I have no idea how you can do that, but maybe I wonder if she learned how to use message in the time we've been apart.
Io, you recognize at the beginning, as you think about that, you think about the beginning of the statement where you heard her kind of look, you saw her look off to the side somewhere and say, now?
Wait a second, yeah. I think someone might have helped her out. Because it was definitely pre-recorded.
Somebody who can send messages through flowers.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Did she tell you where she was?
No. I mean, you guys heard it all. I mean,
I was intentionally not paying attention so that to not intrude on your privacy.
Oh, wow, that is unbelievably mature for you, and I don't say that because of your age, because there are people 3 times your age who would not.
Do I have to
give
ask
you that
if
courtesy?
Do I have to ask if anybody else gave that courtesy?
I was going to say, I didn't want to interrupt, that Gwen, knowing that she herself would be truly uncomfortable if people overheard this, and making the leap that Io might not mind so much, but also this is very private, would have tried to herd people back towards the room without making a scene about it.
Interesting.
So
Prim was totally trying to listen in the entire time and thought that Io was cheating on
Yeah.
Eris with a weird plant girl and had to figure out what was going on.
Hot.
you like the messy drama. I like
I mean,
it.
Kara was just it's information. So Kara was just awkwardly studying the plant a distance away because it's information, and information's.
So I guess it depends if Alistair lets Gwen pull him away a little bit.
As you guys are talking about this, the plant itself seems to kind of like and just kind of seems to disappear into the ground as if it never was there before. But Io, the bulb does not go away.
Oh, that bulb, he's definitely probably has used some type of makeshift thing to kind of tie it to his belt, but he's planning on using something a little bit more secure to store it away later.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think Alistair, like, kind of understanding, and I'll say anybody who's magically inclined, like trying to understand why, that sort of thing. Feel free to roll any check you want. I assume Arcana.
Yeah.
Gwen would, despite trying not to listen in, still be very interested in how this works.
That's an 18 for Io.
Oh
Nice.
well. Alistair got us covered, always.
Yeah.
49.
Oh, baby. 18's not bad. You get the feeling based on how Eris has been talking. It seems like it's a reply somewhat to a reply, although not notating specifics on there besides the, congratulating you on defeating Yex. So you get the feeling that the sending must have been picked up, but couldn't be sent back.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not sure if that was because of Eris or because of whatever sort of like momentary illness she's going through in the process or whatnot, or if she was maybe even conscious during the time. Not entirely sure. Alistair with a 29. That's some pretty freaking cool magic. It is seemingly some sort of way to be able to communicate back and forth from one plane of existence to another. You get the feeling that it is not beholden to the general sort of rules of exhaustion with magic.
Io, who would Eris know that could help her with this?
Well, there's the question. So, when we parted ways, she... Remember, I don't know if I mentioned this, but essentially after Yex let her go, she found herself under the care of a commune of druids. And essentially that's where I believe she's been, that's where she's returned to in all this time.
Druids.
Yeah. The nature, not cleric, caster people.
Alistair, you recognize this is a incredibly powerful piece of magic.
Did you happen to know any of these druids that she spent time with?
I mean, when we dropped her off, I was there. There was this really old woman. I can't even remember her name. But remember how I told you how Eris was blind? She
Yes.
did something. This head druid lady, she did something that restored Eris's sight. Well, what she could of it. I mean, the girl has to wear glasses now, but again, she basically made the blind see again. But aside from that, I don't really know too much about her. I can't even, like I said, I can't even picture a name.
Would you?
Can I insight check to see if he's if he truly can't picture a name or if he's protecting information for some reason?
Ooh. Yeah, go for it.
27.
Say deception or persuasion.
And also no deception at all. Io really can't. Io really can't remember her name at all. That's something. That's something Dan. That's a weakness in Dan's writing. He did not
Check your
name her.
Discord.
But yes, I am doing that now.
Just so you, yeah.
Make sure you guys have your Discord up.
I do.
Out of
I do.
rubbish.
I do. It's just doing both. The only other thing that I can mention, instead of studying nature in the traditional sense, like plants and animals, the druids that Eris became a part of, they study the stars. Like all of them have some kind of like little star map. Like some of them use it as like a little piece of like carved out jewelry. Others, like literally a piece of their clothing or something like that.
You mean like
So-
constellations?
Yeah.
Kara, you get the feeling that the plant went back to its master, the person you probably saw.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't. Yeah. I don't know any
if,
druids. I wouldn't even. Yeah.
if I promise you to take care and be safe and cautious, maybe there's a way I can verse the magic so that you could talk to Eris.
You could like plan it. It's like a bulb, right?
We can
Yeah,
try
and-
some things.
You do
I
know how
will-
to be. You also do know how to be pretty gentle with stuff. Oh, I'll think about it. It's a piece of her that is pretty recent, so kind of got that sentimental, warm, fuzzy towards it right now. But that might not be a bad idea to take a look at it later.
See a study session in our future.
Yeah.
I rolled an 18 on survival for that advice, by the way, to advise you to plant it. That is my survival advice.
I like that. I like that 18. That sounds cool.
That's pretty.
You can plant bulbs, I hear.
You can plant bulbs.
Kara,
Mm-hmm.
trying to think how to word this. The concept of being able to have a reliable form of communication back and forth between planes was something that was recently a concern of yours.
Mm-hmm.
How does she feel, or what is she thinking of knowing that Io has access to this?
Let me roll something. Okay. This, my understanding of this is that it is. I'm getting really bad echo.
That's
Jake,
probably
on
me.
mute.
1 second. Yeah.
It was like a one-way postcard, right? So it's like reliable, but the master's taking it back. It's not like he can send it back, or as far as we know. So it's like only reliable if you're that one specific person who has this spell and is capable of that. So it's not like a truly reliable means of communication.
There's some interesting sort of like piece of this that like there's a lot of like you don't know. So like rather than as a DM being like, well, yeah, but this is how it works, I'm gonna say that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, sending, as like I said, it should only have like a 5% chance of failing. So that's
Right.
95% accurate. That should be pretty damn reliable. So
Yeah.
I feel like sending would, in theory, be more reliable than finding a massively powerful archdruid to pre-record messages and send them for you.
100%. Yes.
Would Prim have seen Kavish doing this at any point?
I roll me a history or insight, your choice.
11.
I'll say that's enough. You get the feeling that Cabbage never really had anyone important enough to do that.
That's fair.
Sarah kind of like moves through some of the leaves here and this is... Okay, so it's gone. Holding the translations down.
Yeah, it's gone. We handled it.
Okay. Well, you all need to get dressed. Get dressed.
Yeah.
Not
How
the-
many hours exactly do we have before this ball tonight?
Well, technically speaking, at the beginning of it, it was an interesting sort of moment of the court actually trying to. They didn't understand how your schedule works, and I wasn't about to tell them, so I kind of allowed them to like sort of make it up to you. So it sounds like you said evening.
Yes, we have a big to-do list that we'd like to get started on.
Okay. Well, it's Alistair, you look oh, this is a Feywild. It's kind of weird sort of thing. You guys have no idea clearly what time it is at all.
Yeah, that's why I would ask for an hour. Like, how many hours do we have?
Until evening hours. Okay. How many of those do you usually have?
Can we just tell you when we're ready?
Yeah.
Can we just give you a time estimate? Can we say like, let's do this in what? 8 hours? Is 8 hours? 10 hours? How long do we need
I have no
to
concept.
go buy outfits, get ready?
They don't have a concept of hours.
They have no concept of what hours mean.
Well, 1,000 beats of the Blue Jay's heart.
That feels
That's not that
That
big.
More
feels like really
confusing.
soon. Birds got
70,000 beats of a Blue Jay's heart. I think it's Blue Jay hearts. Is that what they use?
24 hours.
I mean, you guys could just answer the question. Honestly,
they're-
she
they're
asked
24 hours
how
in a
many hours are
24
usually
in a day.
Okay, all right. So yeah, it's about
We've been up for about an hour.
so about 10 of them, I think,
That's
Perfect.
perfect.
give or take.
Yes, that's more than enough time, I think.
Okay.
Close shop?
Would you mind me coming along? At least to. I don't know if you guys are going together or not, but
I think we're splitting up, but you're welcome to join us. Prim and I are gonna go shop for outfits. I don't know whatever. Think Yori and Alistair were finding a blacksmith.
I'll come with y'all. I kind of have an idea of what I want to do with my get up, and so I want to take a look and see if I can make it work.
Any bookshops here, or magic shops, or
we have a library.
a library?
Arm shops?
What?
And
Nothing.
I think the blacksmith is a good place to start there.
Maybe.
Yeah. Also,
Maybe an armory.
do you have something better than a fountain where we could
Yes.
be presentable?
Yes, absolutely. So we are working on that. They're working on that. I just to be perfectly clear and honest with you all. She's holding this. I don't want to put my arm down. You can stay here as long as I recognize that there's obviously, and looks at Kara, recognize there are things that you guys want to do, but as long as I or my father have something to say about it, you're always welcome here. And we're working on making sure that there is a place for that.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
And it would be lovely if you came shopping with us.
Great. Plus whoever I'm going with probably doesn't need to pay for anything.
Oh, that's great because I have like nothing.
I don't think they would take our gold anyways.
That was I'm
Acorns.
sorry.
I think they use acorns.
I'm sorry, that was a joke. That was what the badges were for.
Alistair, how
Or
how
BJ
loaded are
Hearts.
you guys?
We
Very.
are. I robbed a bank. Well, I mean, we
robbed a bank.
No, I took the money
We
from the
robbed-
people
I
who
think
were
there's something
robbing.
wrong with this
We robbed
translation
the
stone.
robbers.
It sounded like you robbed a bank.
Yeah, well,
You don't know what a bank
Fine,
is.
don't worry about it. It was a long
There's
way
one
away
degree
from
of
here.
separation from that, and we killed a lot of the people who noticed. So
I
it doesn't
feel like I
matter.
should have gotten a resume from you guys before I joined
You,
up.
you
didn't
stole
hear that? You
water
were
from a
in jail.
I
river
was
bank?
in
when that happened.
jail.
No, it was gold. Gold from bank.
Oh, that's
It's-
a. Well, I've read about that.
Mhm.
Prim's just gonna start walking down the stairs.
Long
Let's,
story. Way too much to get into, honestly.
Or would you care to join Yuri and I today, or are you going with everyone else?
That was to Kara. If you got that.
Yeah.
Huh? I thought you
Taro.
said Zara.
Nope. Kara, would you like to join Yuri and me
It's your
today?
fault, Joe.
Okay. For clarification,
Sorry.
Clinton, sometimes the beginning of your phrase cuts off, so the hard K was missed. Yeah.
Zara, would you want to come shopping or to the blacksmith?
Actually, I would much rather go to our weaponsmith. I think there's some things that I would like to have.
Then I suppose we're both going with you and Yuri.
Is the weaponsmith the same as the blacksmith, or is that a different smith?
I don't know. What's a blacksmith?
This is
Yes.
somebody who works with metal and makes stuff, but most blacksmiths make like horseshoes. It's not. But I guess here they might make weapons because I haven't seen any horses.
Why are horses wearing shoes?
Because of the stones, they damage their feet.
By
You have
making
much
fun of
softer
them,
terrain.
and so they have to wear shoes to look nice so that the stones don't mock them.
The horses we have don't have that problem.
Stone roads make horse feet hurt, so we put iron on the bottoms that they don't hurt as much.
That sounds awful.
the truth. But the bottom of their feet doesn't feel anything. Well, it doesn't. You can nail nails into it, and then it's fine.
So we have a weaponsmith and an armorsmith. That's what we call them.
Probably either one can remove the whatever that is from the cauldron. And then I looked to Alistair for confirmation. Yeah?
Yeah, I really just need someone to cut it out, and if we have time, maybe I have an idea, but I haven't really gotten that far ahead. We could be there all day, to be honest with you, up until this evening.
Okay, well, Gwen, will you pick something out for me if I have to wear something?
I can do that.
Okay,
Yeah, Gwen, for me, no colors.
It
clear.
wouldn't look right.
Thank you.
It's like you see, Sarah just have a moment of like, like it's brown.
No, she means no color. So like transparent.
I mean, purple's fine. She's wearing Hadrian's purple coat.
I
That's
I
good.
have an idea for you. Trust me.
Okay. I trust you.
Sarah, do you trust me? Or do you have your own?
I trust you all to where. I mean, look, the
you
whole.
did stab me yesterday.
Okay, but I did.
I'm sorry. I will stop bringing that up.
Raise your
Oh,
hand
keep
if
her
Sarah
in
didn't
line.
put a knife to your neck. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you were
Was-
stabbed by a princess. There is that.
It's true.
Yeah, some people would kill for that honor. Is this how the joke
I mean, I
goes?
straddled a
This
princess.
is how the
once.
joking goes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Yes, then I'll do it again if you don't do what I say.
Got her.
So scared. Good job.
We can
Yeah,
go to the weaponsmith now.
Just a quick. So, the whole point of the ceremony was to kind of appreciate and sort of take you all in as members. Members? Kind of like looks at the translation stone. So, come as you are. Just
Better dressed.
So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We don't get invited to very many noble celebrations, and there's a couple of us in this group, a few of us, who really enjoy dressing up for the occasion. So this
Gotcha.
is us coming as ourselves, with the exception of Yori, but I'm going to find something for him that is suitable.
Great. Yeah. Good. And feel free to represent yourselves. Just looks at Kara and goes, it's just a little color. Just purple's a color. There's just a moment of Kara being like, I feel like Kara, you kind of get this like, okay, so are we able to dress up as ourselves or not?
So should I add color
Thinking
here?
neon yellow, maybe a little bit of electric
No.
blue,
All right, now I'm listening.
Oh,
All right, Yori.
it's a lot
I like
of
a neon
colors.
orange.
Some fuchsia.
Ooh, fuchsia. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have neon orange. We have neon orange. Neon orange.
You know
Just
it.
means-
orange.
It's like so orange that you remove other colors that aren't orange.
It's so orange it hurts your eyes to look at it orange.
Oh yes,
An excellent
orange.
way to.
I think this is the
voice
point
it.
where Sarah just goes, "Yeah, orange is my least favorite color." So yes, there is a
So
lot
orange
of
for you.
orange. that-
Understood. I'm looking at Prim's orange scarf.
Yeah, and I think there's just further kind of.
Okay.
Obviously,
we-
Yori and
yeah.
Sarah have this sort of blocking, and I think it just gets bigger as that conversation is like.
Why
Yeah.
would you even have a least favorite color? I mean,
All right. We split up. I do ask Sarah, general directions. And because I'm not confident that we'll be able to communicate, I know Kara has Sylvan, but she's going with the other group. So I will cast tongues on
I
myself.
don't actually. I only have Elven.
Elvish. That's what I meant. Everybody who
Mo-
can speak the language is going in one group, and everybody
That's
who can't
true.
is in the other group.
So weirdly, I think I'll clarify the things of like the commoners probably all speak Sylvan. The assumption would be that most of the shopkeepers also speak Elvish.
Yeah, none of us speak any of those languages.
Oh, great, cool.
Oh. Us three don't speak
It's
Elven.
Yori,
or-
Kara, and
point.
Alistair.
Are
Yeah.
the only ones who
Just
do,
do
and
that.
we're all going
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Group
In one
together.
group.
Yeah, good.
We are so
With
smart.
Kara, who has the translation stone.
maybe
She's
they have the
coming with
little
us.
translation book.
Yeah,
I
You
know,
can
that's what I
buy
mean.
and
Like,
just, look up words.
It's all out there. Like,
I think you guys should just go for it. Just don't. Yeah.
I've got plans.
Spell
I like
slot
this.
I can burn. So I'm going to cast tongues on each one of us. So for 1
Coward.
hour, all of us can understand everything. And
Coward.
then I'll burn more if I have to. Don't get in a fight today, guys.
No promises.
I want you guys to have to motion everything you have to say to the shopkeepers. That's what I want.
A full session of just those three trying desperately to shop. Without
Yeah.
I won't do it.
language.
I don't like shopping episodes as it is. I refuse. So,
Charades shopping episode. Here
You know
we
what's
go.
really funny is
above board. Gwen loves shopping episodes.
I just made sure, this is so above board, but I've just made sure with all of the videos that they're also available as like podcast form, so you could actually just listen to them. Would be an unbelievable podcast
Yes.
episode of just
would
everybody
be
just signing
unbelievable.
things.
Incredible.
Yep.
Sorry, I'll narrate. Now
Beautiful.
Gwen moves her hand up and slightly to the left, turns the palmward. Palmward.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
in
she
there.
moved on.
Turns the
No.
palm word.
Yep.
Palm.
Beautiful. So, we're in a weird sort of point right now where I think it makes sense that we kind of pause it here. As you all start to venture off, you guys are kind of like walking down the same road for a minute, and then you see this momentary sort of split. I will say one thing that does come up is you notice that all the town around you have stopped what they're doing and are looking at you all. Very similar to how you guys first came in. Strangers. Most likely unwanted. Threats. You all feel something that I think, given the various sort of paths of where you all come from, something that you at least haven't felt in a while. For as long as you've been a party, you see elves. Different colored hair. Different features, but ultimately looking very much the same. Looking at you all with welcoming smiles and nods. Some of them touching their heart towards you. And you feel welcome here. A place where there's one less thing to worry about. And as you split down the street corners, it doesn't stop. All of the figures that you pass by, young, old, children, men, women, all look at you with a deep, defined sense of gratitude for what you've done. And with that, we're going to end tonight's session. We'll see you guys next week.